Winter broadcast, I decided to tally them all up and give you a list of my personal recommendation. Maybe my mind will change about some of the rankings once they'll be done airing, but hey, in the meantime, it can direct your attention. Also, I'm only covering new franchise. Sequels will be covered after. You'll see, just let it happen. I'll be gentle. I know it's your first time. Standing at the worst of the list is two anime, Kemono Friends and Handshaker. I think it's important that when we appreciate the finest shows, we also acknowledge the worst that came out this season. So far, this year, the awards goes to those two shows, Kemono Friends and Handshakers. Kemono Friend is about a lost child in a zoo who's looking for the exit. Along the way, the child meets with half animal and half girls. They go on an adventure together and it's basically a kid show. Handshaker itself has a cool premise. Everyone is paired in duo teams. They have to fight each pair to rise to the top and fight off against God or something. The execution hit a bunch of bumps on the road along the way. They mix CGI with the 2D and it looks uncanny. It clashes a lot, but maybe you can like that. Try them out if you want. You'll make your own opinion off of them.
こんなに簡単に？どうやって？
何言ってるんだ、タズナ。
なんでお前が挨拶すんだ？
お頭のお嬢様だ。と言っても、本当の娘じゃないけどな。ご自分が捉えた盗賊の子だ。
Number 10, Honihei. Honihei is a shining example of an anime that the marketing did not do proper justice. If anything, I think it's what sunk it so hard. The art cover looks like a Paper Mario fan art, and its description is as generic as it gets. Historical samurai setting, chief director of safety has to protect the country from thieves and criminals. Do you see how bland it comes off as? I didn't have any expectation whatsoever about the show, but I tried it anyway, because it's my job. And wow, I'm not sure if it's because I was prepared for the worst, but so far it's a show I just keep coming back every week to. The dynamic characters really got me invested. I mean, it's either that or Bang Dream, and I think we can all agree we're done with the K-On! Ripoffs.
そこに立ってるお方ですね。
そうか、そうしてくれるか。お前がいてくれりゃ100人力だ。よし。
課長、ケーキどうぞ。
10時になったらいただくよ。
出張と聞いていたので、副課長の分はないです。
Number 9, Akajusanku Kansatsuka. Akaju-san is not an anime for the general public. It's a very specific show about geopolitical influence, mixed with a slice of life that gets disrupted by a coup d'etat. You follow Jean as second in command of the inspection agency as he travels through the different 13 states and interact with his staff members. The anime is nicely done. I mean, it's what you'd expect from Madhouse, but again, you need to have a particular appeal for the political aspect because it's quite heavy on the dialogue and it will KO you with its countless lines of text. The storytelling aspect and its odd pacing is definitely one of its strong points. Also, the soundtrack is very engaging too. I don't think many will pick it up, but if any of this piqued your interest, it might be a good thing to consider.
おやつの時間です。今日はプリン5個セット。プリンプリン。あれ？副課長今日非番なのに。
ごめん、足滑っちゃって。もしかしてさっきの子が一緒にバンドやる人？
Number 8, Fuka. And now we're back in the more traditional anime people are at ease with. Look, alright, technically this one is a sequel. It's the sequel to Suzuka, a romantic sports anime. The reason why I personally choose to ignore it as one is because it's with a brand new set of characters and you know what? Bite me. I don't have to justify myself. Number 8, Fuka. Boom. Stories about Yu Haruna, a kid who really enjoys Twitter, and when he bumps into a girl, she breaks his fucking phone, because she's entitled like that. From that point, you see their relationship evolve. If you're familiar with the style of Suzuka, you'll find Fuka to be just as fucking mental as Suzuka was. I'm sure you'll like it, if you enjoy being depressed. Also, episode 4 has some of the most forced cringe fanservice you can find on the market. Oh, you don't believe me? Well, check it out. No, I don't mind. It gives me a nice thumbnail to have on this video.
だったら素直にそう伝えればよかったんだよ。ね、風花。
宿題終わりとは。人間の方々も日々大変なのですね。
Number 7, Gabrielle Dropout. I'm gonna start to lead by the fact that if you enjoy Himoto Humaru-chan, you should straight up jump on this one. You have basically the same formula. A near perfect girl acclaimed by everyone under the spotlight becomes incredibly lazy and shut in when she's in her alone time. Gabrielle Dropout is about God's chief angel who will land on Earth. After a while, she starts to skip school and spend her time playing video games. She becomes a dick to everyone around her. If you like hassle characters, give it a try. The comedy is surprisingly up my alley. Maybe it'll be up yours too.
ペットボトルのキャップをつけたまま捨てるなんて悪。さすが未来の大悪魔よね。
砲兵隊だ。砲兵隊を叩く。来い、ハラルド。了解。
両伍長、直ちに戻れ。
Number 6, Yojo Senki. Yojo Senki is a military anime. It also involves a lot of magic. The story is about Tanya Degurachev, a little girl who's not quite a little girl. Sounds like the plot to a lolly anime, but hear me out. After angering someone who claims to be God, an elite salaryman gets reborn as a little girl. So you follow how he/her operates on the platoon, and boy is she one crazy motherfucker. She doesn't stop for anything or anyone that stands in her way, casting really huge spells to dismiss the puniest of her foes. She's what's the cool kid call a straight up savage. It's kinda hard to put in words what exactly this show's essence is all about, but if you like military tactics, incredible visuals, and the thinking outside of the box aspects some anime can showcase, Yojo Senki might be just for you.
こんにちは、小林さん。
こんにちは。
あの温かい言葉忘れません。
Number 5, Kobayashi-chi no Maid Dragon. I'm not gonna lie, I hate the fact that I enjoyed this anime. The story is about Kobayashi, an office worker who one day saves the life of a dragon. The dragon decides to repay her debt by becoming kind of her maid. It's a slice of life comedy type of anime. Progression wise, it follows the same formula as always. Episode 1 introduced the main characters, and then all subsequential episodes keeps adding new cast members until eventually the party is full of misfits. Don't watch it expecting any story, it's not its main appeal at all. The skits and humor might have you chuckle along the way. It's nothing fancy, but if you're in a sour mood, it'll be just the pick-me-up you need.
小林さんの家で毎日一緒に暮らしているメイドです。
親戚の子で私が。
唐揚げも揚げたて。じわじわ言ってるでしょ。
いや、いい。
ちなず、マー君がママのこと嫌い。
Number 4, Masamune-kun no Revenge. Masamune-kun is one of those anime that you start watching and you just want to know how it's gonna end. The premise is about Masamune. No, not the sword. It's a guy. When he was a kid, he was chubby, and Aki, no, not the YouTuber. No, it's a girl. Well, she made fun of him. So fast forward a few years later, Masamune lost weight, and he's super charming, albeit a bit full of himself, and he wants to exact his revenge on Aki. But as you get closer to her, he starts to question his own motives. I think it's a show that has a lot of introspect to offer. If you enjoy neat visuals, a good soundtrack, and that ever-so-lasting rom-com that you never get tired of, this show might be just for you. Personally, I'll probably wait until the anime is done airing so I can binge-watch it all in one go, but your call, truly.
そこ邪魔だから出てってもらえないかしら。
気にしなくていいよ。少し大きめの弁当1個くらい。運動部の女子も食べてる子いるだろうし。
例えば食事の時はこういうので固定しますし、お風呂やトイレなんかはこれでぶら下がりますから問題ありません。
Number 3, Demi-chan wa Kataritai. I think my best leading point for this anime is to compare it to other shows already on the market. If you enjoyed Rosario Vampire, Monster Musume, Jitsu wa Watashi wa, or Shuffle, well, you might already have a good idea of what Demi-chan is all about. The story is about a world where demi-human are now accepted within society. There's a teacher in charge of 3 half-humans that he tries to study, as well as live with them. It's a light-hearted school comedy with fantasy elements that I surprise myself, kick back, and enjoy. I think this one comes down to personal preference in terms of greatness. I can see a lot of people being more severe towards it, but hey, I find it endearing. Can you hold it against me? Can you truly?
そいでさマッチはどういうデートがしたいの？デートのプランとか希望とかあるでしょ？
先生も花ちゃんじゃないでしょうが。
あ、そうだった。安ら岡さん。ダメだな、やっぱ。花ちゃんのことは小さい。
Number 2, Kuzu no Honkai. I've seen a lot of people praising Kuzu no Honkai, so I decided to check it out to see if it was worth all the clamor, and yes, it very much is worth it. The story is about Hanabi and Mugi, 2 students who, because they can't be with the person they love, they decide to date each other. Hanabi is in love with her homeroom teacher. Mugi likes another girl, so they start getting close to each other and gets very, very intimate. This is not your typical drama anime. We're talking about actual intercourse between characters, so I would not recommend you watch it with someone else. Also, it still remains tasteful. While it does tattle around the subject of intimacy, it doesn't drown you in pointless fanservice, which in my eyes makes it so much better. A very must-see for the season for sure.
ごめんなさい。ちゃんと答えました。それじゃ。
ちょっと待って。
こんにちは。こんにちは。ルーナのバイキのバスの停留所ってどこですか？あのシャイニーシャリオも通った学校。
And finally, number 1, Little Witch Academia. This anime was bound to win my heart the instant they announced it. Why? Because Little Witch Academia is an IP that already exists. Yet it still is not fitting the sequel category since it's like a reboot of the movies. If you haven't heard of this show at the moment, it's very family-friendly anime about Atsuko, a girl who joins the Witch Academy because as a child, she saw the famous witch Shiny Chariot, that's a tongue twister for sure, and she was enamored with her. My best comparison will be its Harry Potter the anime. You have school classes, how to make potions, how to ride a broom, Wingardium Leviosa. No, it's Leviosa. Anyway, if you love a good dose of magical fantasy, this is a show that absolutely charmed me, and I think everyone would love it just as much.
これとか？何それ？梅干し？捨てて！私梅干しがないと生きていけない。お願い捨てて！
But that being said, I also realized that covering only the first new anime of this winter season leaves you up without seeing the amazing sequel that got made. I heard you like top 10, so I put a top 10 in your top 10 so you can top 10 while you top 10. Everyone's good with that? This one won't be as exhaustive as the previous, but hey, if you want to know which anime is worth picking up, now that there's a sequel, you'll be able to check these guys out. Let's go, lightning round. Number 10, Chaos Child, sequel of Chaos Head. 6 years later, if you like mystery shows, pick it up. Number 9, Chain Chronicle, a show that's based on the mobile game Chain Chronicle, sequel to the OVA from 2014. Number 8, Rewrite, second season. Season 1 was kinda meh, but season 2 is shaping up nicely. Not for everyone though. Number 7, Tale of Zestiria DX, second season. Fucking love Tales game, now it's the sequel of the anime, what's not to love? Number 6, Ao no Exorcist. 6 years later, we get a sequel. About time. Number 5, Super Lovers 2, twice as gay as Super Lover 1. It'll blow your mind, along with other parts of your body. Number 4, Yowamushi Pedal, new generation. Another season, hell yeah, keep on coming. Number 3, Showa Genroku, second season. A fucking masterpiece no one can be fucked to watch. Fuck. Number 2, Konosuba, second season. A crowd favorite, you're probably already watching it. And finally, number 1, Gintama. Yo, it's Gintama. What did you expect? So that's it for the noteworthy anime to watch in this winter season of 2017. If you enjoyed this top 10, please leave a like. If you'd like more, you can always go back in time and check out the hundreds of top 10s I did. All just as good as this one. It'll widen your to-watch list, I promise. If you've seen them all, and then I suggest you check out the new series I started called 5 Anime of the Day, where we pick 5 anime at random. Winter broadcast, I decided to tally them all up and give you a list of my personal recommendation. Maybe my mind will change about some of the rankings once they'll be done airing, but hey, in the meantime, it can direct your attention. Also, I'm only covering new franchise. Sequels will be covered after. You'll see, just let it happen. I'll be gentle. I know it's your first time.
本当だ。 私に大口勝負を挑む
Standing at the worst of the list is two anime, Kemono Friends and Handshaker. I think it's important that when we appreciate the finest shows, we also acknowledge the worst that came out this season. So far, this year the awards goes to those two shows, Kemono Friends and Handshakers. Kemono Friend is about a lost child in a zoo who's looking for the exit. Along the way, the child meets with half animal and half girls. They go on an adventure together and it's basically a kid show. Handshaker itself has a cool premise. Everyone is paired in duo teams. They have to fight each pair to rise to the top and fight off against God or something. The execution hit a bunch of bumps on the road along the way. They mix CGI with the 2D and it looks uncanny. It clashes a lot, but maybe you can like that. Try them out if you want. You'll make your own opinion off of them.
こんなに簡単にどうやって